So, welcome back. We are going to continue our discussion on marketing. So, now that you've kind of figured out who you're marketing to, we're going to talk a little bit more about creating marketing pieces and your graphics and your graphic overhaul and just visually what that looks like. So, in the book, you're getting tips on creating your visual identity. Remember, simple. Simple is key. Simple makes it easy to carry colors throughout not just logos, but t-shirts, signage, branding. The more colors, the harder it is that people have that they look at and they go, oh, I know exactly which program that was that we went to see. Think about when you go through the grocery store or you drive by gas stations. When you see a color combination, do you know exactly what gas station it is? Or a color combination, do you know exactly what fast food restaurant that is? Do you see shapes and you don't even have to even know the name? You just automatically know what business that is by the color. So a lot of times, a lot of us shop based by color and color association. So keep that in mind, right? So we do really, really well with simple. However, with childcare, a lot of times we have a tendency to want to go all, right? We have all the primary colors, or we have a tendency to go to just the opposite and we try to go softer. And we have a lot of soft baby colors. Either way, we end up with logos and artwork with lots and lots of colors. Or we hire somebody. Don't get me wrong, graphic designers are great. But graphic designers have a tendency to not necessarily be the people who are hiring or paying for printing. So it's not as big a deal currently because we have access to full color printers. And a lot of times it's just as easy to go to a copy center at an office store or something like that, or a copy center, and just have something done in full color versus paying to have a printer add color to something. It's still simple black and white with spot color is still very catchy when it comes to getting the attention. Black ink on color paper is still much easier to find. When I'm looking over here in my paperwork, it is still easier for me to find a piece of goldenrod paper versus a piece of white paper that's got full color printing on it. So keep that in mind when you're trying to get your parents' attention. A lot of us think that we need to still send text messages, but if you're trying to get their attention, oh, by the way, Chapter 21 in the book, I went straight into content. Chapter 21 in the book, don't forget your workbook. You are definitely going to need paper and pencil because we're going to be talking about just visually. I want you to think about whether or not you need to visually overhaul your center. Chances are, if you're a director, if you're coming into an existing program, there are some things you may want to do related to visually overhauling. We're not going to do that here in this session. We may do some bonus content related to visual overhaul, but I do want you to definitely remember to keeping it simple. Okay. So what we are going to talk about before I go completely off track is we're going to talk about graphics. Okay. So I want you to keep your graphics simple, right? That's where we were going just now. Also, when you're talking about your marketing and you're thinking about your graphics, I want you to remember your online presence. This is not about you. You need to remember who your customer is. Your customer is the parent. If you're having a hard time staffing, your customer is the employee. I know we love our kiddos, but the kiddos really aren't the client. Now, we want the kiddos happy, but really the client is the parent. So remember, what do the parents like? What are you selling to the parent? So you also want to think about how are you going to get their attention. So we're also going to talk about mini billboards and signage. And we're also going to talk about community connection, and community impact. So those are going to be the topics in this video. I'm going to do my best to try to keep it under 10 minutes. I think each one of those topics I can probably go 10 minutes just on. So there is additional content. So don't forget to go listen to some of the podcasts related to this. If there is additional content or help with this that you need, you can always reach out to Carrie and I. These are topics that make really great coaching clientele coaching programs. And so if you feel like you need support in this, this might be an opportunity for you to hire us as a coach or a short term. Maybe you need us as a consultant. We do have some sections later in the program about what the difference is between a coach and a consultant. If not, check out our website. All right. So we talked a little bit about graphics, keeping them simple, understanding all of the different colors versus just a couple of colors. Your online presence. Okay, your online presence is your website. Again, keep it simple. Remember your color palette. So the color palette is whatever colors are in your logo with maybe another color or two that kind of go with it. That's it. And black and white, right? So you don't want 3 million colors. You also want to make sure that you've got just 1 or 2 fonts, and that is the type or the writing. And you want to make sure that you don't have it in 100 different sizes, and that you don't have everything in bold and everything in italic or bold and italic. Okay, keep some uniformity. If you aren't really sure what you want, go look at other websites. And they don't have to be childcare websites, but they should probably be websites that still are appealing to that same demographic. I will tell you what I usually tell most of my clients is to go look at pediatric dentist and pediatrician. Whenever you're trying to figure out a look that you're looking for, whether it's a building, whether it's graphic design, whether it's marketing, if you're not sure what you want, you're not sure what parents might be looking for, go look at those 2 specific clients in your community. Look at the ones that might be perceived as successful. In other words, who is the busy pediatrician? Who is the busy children's dentist? Go look at their signage, go look at their website, go see if they have social media. Where is it? Are they on TikTok? Are they on Facebook? They've probably done the work for you. Okay. They've got the same clientele you do. Visually. So visually is not just a logo. It is not just your building, but it is your building. So it is everything about the external part of your building. It is your driveway. It is coming up to your driveway. It is on your street. It is your parking lot. It's your door. What's on your door? It is your signage. It is your street numbers. It's the paint on in your driveway. Can people tell where your entrance is? Does it look friendly? Even if you're not a plant person, put in fake plants. Believe it or not, fake plants that are clean are better than live, real plants that are dead. Okay. So keep that in mind. If you are in an area where it's really hard to grow, or it takes a lot of time and maintenance, or you just don't think you have a green thumb, see if you have a staff person who does. You might have somebody on staff who would love to take on that. The one thing that's beautiful is planters, big buckets. They make life so much easier because it keeps everything confined. You can also do things with them that are seasonal. I mean, you can always put them right by the door. They can be bright colors, they can be eye-catching, and you can plant things that are perennial as well as things that are seasonal. You can also make gardens out of them. You can make fairy gardens. You can make vegetable gardens. Again, you can do a lot of really cool things with them. Okay. This is the one that's I'm gonna work really, really hard to just make short. Billboards, signage, all of those kinds of things. So we want your signs to your center to be clean and clear. This is not just the sign that tells people the name of your program. It is their first impression. When they drive by your center, what are they seeing? They should immediately know the name of your program. More and more people, whether we like to admit it or not, are right. They're grabbing their phone, they're calling from their phone. If they have a need for childcare and they're driving by your center, is your phone number easy to get to? Is it easy to see? Can they call you? Yes, a few years ago, pre-COVID, everybody having a cell phone in their pocket and driving with it. Again, I know what we're trying to tell people, but let's be honest. Before all of that, we were telling everybody to put your website. But if your website's long and convoluted and it's hard to remember, putting your website address on your sign doesn't matter. Put your phone number because you want them to call you. Now, if people are going to call you and you have an easy to remember website address, put that up there. You don't need to put the www. And if it's a .com, you can put a .com on there. If it's something different, you need to make sure that you put that. Okay. If it's hard to remember, find something different. It doesn't have to be the name of your program. Okay. I will tell you, it will make your life so much easier, even if it's not the name of your program. If it's, let's just say you've got a small town and your small town's name is Kate. All right. Kids love Kate, even if that's not the name of your program. But kids love Kate. So Kate's the name of your town. Okay. Maybe I'll come up with something different. Boomerang. So this is a monkey boomerang. So right here. Okay. Kids love Boomerang. And Boomerang is the name of our town. So Kids Love Boomerang is now going to be how you're going to market. And if you are going to go grab the domain name and all of the social media of Kids Love Boomerang, that is going to be easier for you because everybody is going to remember Kids Love Boomerang, even if your child care center is not Kids Love Boomerang, because that's easy for you because your Facebook page, your website, everything has the same name. That'll make your life so much easier than, ABC Boomerang, Boomerang 123, Kate at Boomerang. So just start to think about that piece because that can really be crazy. So that is kind of related to signage, but not really. Okay, so back to signs. When we also think about signs, I want you to think about now enrolling signs. Where is that sign? Do you need that sign? Is it clean? Don't put it out there very long, like 2 weeks at the most. Take it down, put it away. How big is it? What is its colors? Because if you have it out there all the time, then people are going to think that you can't keep kids. That's not the message you want to send. And it's no longer catching their eye. Same with now hiring. Again, now hiring, I don't care if you always need staff. You do not put that banner out there all the time. That should be something that's out there, again, every once in a while. Now hiring summer staff. Okay, banners, go online, find some cheap and expensive places to get the banners. Get them, think of them as being disposable. Do not keep them forever. No, 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 no. Don't spend a lot of money on them. Get them, make them one-time things, and then throw them away. Okay, you don't want to keep them forever. Don't put a lot of money into them. Okay, but where you need to put your money, and this is putting your money where your mouth is t-shirts. Okay, if you have not heard the bonus content on t-shirts, go listen to it. Okay, this is how I'm going to save myself a bunch of time, is I'm giving you bonus content. I think we have actually 2 different podcasts on t-shirts. If you've never heard my rant or my soapbox on t-shirts on why every childcare center needs at least one t-shirt, you need to. Okay, so, and these need to be things that you give away freely and without guilt. Let's think this through. When a kid comes into your program and they have to wear your shirt for the day, that means that kid can get it messy all they want. That means the parent doesn't have to worry about whether or not that kid comes home and has a stain on their clothes. That parent is no longer overwhelmed about whether or not their kid got dirty. The staff is no longer overwhelmed about whether or not somebody got dirty in class that day. You as a director are not getting phone calls from parents because you got my kids' little Nike clothes all dirty. If somebody has an accident, I mean, we've all had that kid. It doesn't matter how old they are, right? They have an accident. You know what? Put them in new clothes. Yeah, put them in new clothes that have your center's name on them. It's beautiful. Okay, if I had my way, every center we ever work with would have shorts, sweatpants, and t-shirts branded with their logo in all kinds of sizes. Bright colors, black shorts, black sweatpants, or gray shorts, gray sweatpants. Some version thereof, if I had my way. Okay, do with that what you want. Okay, so, but think about that. Okay, that just makes your life and the parent's life so much easier. And when they pick up that kid, where do they go? They don't change the kid's clothes when they leave the center, right? They're not going to pick them up and change clothes in the parking lot. They're going to leave. They're going to go to the grocery store. So all of a sudden you got this little kid being pushed around the cart in your shirt. You have a walking mini billboard. Well, if they have to go pick up their sibling at school and take their sibling to a baseball game, they're walking around in your t-shirt. You have a walking mini billboard. If the kid really likes that shirt and you've made it fun, the kid may even want to wear them on the weekends. So you've got walking mini billboards 5, 6 days a week, even when they're not at your program. Walking mini billboards. How many kids do you have? Are you doing that with yourself? Are you doing that with your staff? Same with your staff. Chances are your staff are not necessarily, they're going to the grocery store when they leave work. Now, if they're going to bars, ask them to change their shirt, right? You don't need your staff going to bars after work wearing your shirt and thinking that they've come to the bar to drink in your shirt, right? Like that's not the message you want to send. But we do want, we want your staff to be excited, and they want people to stop them at the grocery store and people to ask them, hey, do you like working there? We want people to see this kid so excited about wearing his preschool shirt. right? We want him to be excited. He's wearing his school colors, right? We all wear our school colors for our colleges. Get these kids excited about wearing their school colors, okay? It's something that you can do, and make your staff excited about wearing their school colors. School pride is huge, okay? You know, if you happen to choose a shirt colors that match the high school in your community, not a bad idea. Or the college in your community, not a bad idea. We are located and based out of Austin, Texas. You know, the University of Texas primary color here is burnt orange. It is not a color I would go out of my way to have as a primary color. However, one summer, one of the summer programs that I worked with did use burnt orange as one of the colors that they had as far as their summer program shirts. And do you know that was the color that every 11-year-old wanted to wear when it was wear your summer shirt? When, you know, you had to wear a program shirt when we went out and did field trips. And that was the one everybody wanted to wear. It is my least favorite color, but every kid wanted to wear burnt orange. Why? They wanted to wear the Longhorn color. So it really got me thinking about, okay, so there is something to say about wearing your team spirit color, even if that's not the color to your program, right? So you get people to buy into those colors, those community colors, right? So, you know, if you happen to be in Dallas, Texas, and people are all about, you know, the Dallas Cowboys, you know, go get some cowboy colors, even if it's not the color of your program logo. It's okay. You can still have, especially for the fall, you know, football, you know, Saturday or like Monday night football, right? I think that's right. So Monday night football, on Mondays, have all of the kids wear their Dallas Cowboy color shirts or something. I mean, you can have some fun with this. So it is all about how do you want to embrace and buy into the community. And that's going to lead me to the next two topics I really want to talk to you about, which is community connection and community impact. So I get a lot of head scratching on this one, but I do want you to think about marketing is such a huge part of your budget, or it should be, right? We have staff and building costs, right? Those are two things that are huge. And then we have things that we just, you have to have in a program, right? Got to have food, right? Not that you don't have to have staffing in a building, right? So you got to have staff, got to have building, got to have food. So the next piece that you really have to have that a lot of programs try to ignore is the marketing budget. Now, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to publicly tell you advertising is my least favorite way for you to ever spend your marketing dollar. Least. And unfortunately, probably 70% of the clients that we work with spend a huge amount of money in advertising because those advertising sales reps are slick. And they come in the door and they've got their fancy numbers and they tell you about all the demographics and they tell you why you need to be in this publication or on this website or Facebook or Instagram, or something comes in and tells you why you need to buy for these clicks or Google Analytics or whatever. I am all about grassroots marketing, duct tape marketing, whatever you want to call it. But I'm all about making that community impact and that community connection. And so I want to talk to you about how to do that and how to put your money where your mouth is at a community level and why that's where you need to think about putting your dollar. Every community you're a part of, I don't care if you have a program that's licensed for 20 kids, 40 kids, 150 kids. Every one of those communities have schools. Every one of those elementary schools are looking for sponsors. They're looking for sponsors for some sort of event. Every one of those communities have some sort of sports teams looking for sponsors. This is where you need to decide, are you going to sponsor your community or advertise in a publication? Give your money back to your community and have an impact there. So I'm not saying give your money to everybody. You still need to figure out where it makes sense for you personally, professionally. Where is your connection? And it can be personal. If you have a real passion and drive specifically related to something related to health and wellness, and so it could even be related to women's health, it could be related to breast cancer, it can be related to children's health, it could be related to children's obesity, either one of those kinds of components. And maybe that's, and there's a lot of others, healthy eating. It could just be about, family togetherness. The list could go on. If you get really stuck and you can't come up with something, again, send me an email, reach out, give us a call. But start to put your money into organizations, partnerships, events that tie into that. So Breast Cancer Awareness Month, breast cancer runs, try to get a team with your school, get them all sponsored, get them all t-shirts, go walk and practice together. So here's what I mean. So October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So starting in June or July, start having regular walks with all of the parents or staff who might want to participate in some sort of maybe breast cancer survivor 5K. Now, if you have parents, grandparents, or somebody who's been personally attached to that, that may be why that's what you want to do. And if it's comfortable for you, then you may have them talk or be part of your social media. During the summer, they might even come and do a health and wellness fair for your parents. You can talk to the local OBGYN, the local doctors. Again, all of a sudden, you now have all kinds of people to plug in for several months leading up to October. Don't make the only month you talk about breast cancer awareness is the month of October. So you do a bunch of stuff leading up to that. Even if pink is not a color that you like, everybody associates the pink ribbon. So start getting pink and one other color maybe. Use the pink ribbon in different places if you decide you want to go that route. This is just an example. And every month, do something for the women who work for you. The women in their families, the women in the families in your program. Get those women together, get them talking about the subject. You may discover that this is probably something that women in your community don't talk about. Be that voice. What a wonderful way for you to now be visual in the community. It doesn't have to be something that has anything to do with childcare. It has to do with you being visual in the community, because people are going to start to ask you what you do. And you run a successful business named Boomerang Childcare, or you can, whatever it might be. Okay. This is where you can have a real impact on the families and on the community. think about, you still want to have a strategy, you still want to have a plan, you still need to have a budget. But instead of throwing it at ads, give it a purpose. Okay? Spend your money with a purpose. If you can't figure out how to make that work, and you really feel like you have to do advertising, let's talk about that. Okay. So I'm going to give you some tips for advertising. Two tips. First tip, partnerships. Partnerships and marketing. Actually, I ran a company called Partnerships and Marketing 30 years ago. Okay. So when you are looking at partnerships and marketing, you look for another company who has the exact same demographics as you do. And you guys share the costs of creating marketing pieces. And then you create a marketing piece together. You send it to your people, they send it to their people. So you're marketing both businesses. You're each sending it to your own list. So you're not sharing lists, you're not selling your list or anything like that, but you're still marketing pieces and you're splitting the cost. For example, as a childcare center, and this can go 1, 2, 3, how many ever people wide. If you are a childcare center and you happen to be in a strip center, I am filming this about a couple of weeks before Mother's Day. So here's a great opportunity. You could create a package or a promotional piece with a restaurant or coffee or tea shop and a nail salon in a strip center that maybe you're with. So maybe in the strip center, there's several businesses, but one happens to be a coffee shop and one happens to be a nail salon, and then there's you. Now, this can have some discounts, right? It can have some discounts that are only to basically customers of each other, right? So if you are a customer or on the mailing list of the child care center, you get to save, $5, or you get, a free embellishment. You get a free stone or something. I don't know. Free upgrade on your pedicure. I don't know. Pick something. You don't have to come up with a special for each other, right? And so you guys all do something, and then you send it out to the parents of the child care center. Maybe you send it to all of the men as encouraging them to do something for the women, right? Okay. And then the other businesses do the same. Okay. So hopefully that makes some sense. That is considered advertising. Okay. But in that case, you guys are doing it together. Now, if you're going to do that, what's great is take that artwork. And if the three of you all happen to even advertise in the same magazine, collectively take your ad space and talk to your ad sales rep and say, hey, we don't all want our small ad. We want to come together this month and we want a bigger ad. And we want a bigger ad for the next 3 months. And we want it on the same page. They can do this. Don't let them tell you they can't, because they can make it happen. I don't care if it's the last page, because that's actually better. First page, last page. I go for last page because it's easy to tell people where you are. Okay. Second tip. Buy the smallest ad you can. Tell them you want it on the last page. Make it black and white. And run it for as long as they will let you. So in other words, if you can afford a 1-year contract, then make a 1-year contract. Make the smallest you can and put it on the back in the same place. It takes people seeing something 7 times before they think about taking action. 7 times. So you have to be in the same place 7 times before they see you. So it's going to take a while. And if you move your ad all over the place and your different sizes and different content, then it's not going to work. In this particular situation, especially if money is an object, business card size ad is usually about as small as they'll go with print. Business card size ad, especially if it looks very similar to your business card, it's got your website, it's got your phone number. Maybe it's good for something. Bring this coupon in for a free water bottle, free t-shirt. People love free things, especially if it's free something that's tangible. Okay. Bring this coupon in and you get this thing for free. Okay. I love free t-shirts. Why not get them to come in and you're going to give them a free t-shirt to your program regardless. Maybe it's I'm going to pick on that Dallas Cowboy thing again. Maybe you even show a picture of the shirt, right? And so maybe the picture of the shirt looks like a kind of a knockoff of the Cowboys or something. And maybe it's a I Love Cowboys shirt. Or my kid loves the Cowboys, or I'm a Cowboys kid. Again, come up with something fun that maybe the kids in the neighborhood might really want. Okay, if you come up with something fun that you think they want and you want to give it away for free, do it. And on the back of it, make sure it's got your name of your program. You want those little tiny billboards. Yes, you want those tiny billboards. All right. Hopefully that answers your questions. If you've got any other questions, feel free to send us a contact or an email, and we will see you the next chapter.